Hello, how are you students? Myself Rajiv Shukla. I hope you all are fit and fine. So today we will discuss one of the topic of the political science, that is chapter number 1, that political theories. Okay, so before going further, we have to discuss that what is the meaning of politics. That politics is the word which is not very defined, or which is not very very accurate definition or is there, that for some person to person it varies with some uh, that with some point of time, at a given point of time, maybe the definition of politics is changing day by day. So this is a very variable definition, so we have to discuss that what are the fundamental definition of the politics is. So before going further, the first point is what is politics. So in this point, that if you ask this question to any person of the society that what is politics, then maybe the argument of that, the answer of that person may be differ, that may argue that it is kind of public service. Some other associate politics with the manipulations and intrigue undertaken to pursue ambitious and satisfy wants. A few things of politics as what politicians do. So what this statement says, that a person to person, this the definition of politics may be changed. So going further, that we say that nowadays, if we ask this question that do you like politics, or do you like this kind of political environment or not, then maybe nowadays we are seeing that they are not interested in politics. Okay, so maybe they will reply that I am going to stay away from politics. So why is it so? Because nowadays the scenario has changed. Due to some persons, due to some corrupt leaders are there in the politics, the peoples are thinking like that. So the definition is not like that. We don't want and we should not look at the politics in that context, because the political, this is not politics what they are doing, that is corruption. But what we are studying, and what we have to study is politics, that clear, the fresh and clear politic. Okay, so we are thus confronted with the conflicting images of politics. That is, sorry, politics. Is politics an undesirable activity that we should stay away from and get rid of, or is it worthwhile activity which we must engage within order to make better world? So this statement clearly says that which point do you choose. It give you a question that politics is very essential, or it is the bad thing which we have to get rid of. So, or on the other hand, it is a good thing that we have to involve ourselves in that. So we will decide it later. So as our father of nation, that Mahatma Gandhi, once observed that politics envelops us like a coil of a snake, and there is no other way but to wrestle with it. No society can exist without some forms of political organizations and collective decision making. A society that wants to sustain itself need to take into account the multiple needs and interests of its member. So as this statement tell, that Mahatma Gandhi was firmly believing, was firmly believing in that we cannot get rid of the politics, because politics is all around us. If we are, because as we know that the human is a social animal, so we are living in a society. So, a society without some rules and a society without politics or society without a governing rule is may will not be a stable society. So, we all have to cope up with the situation, and we all have to make some political organization and collective decision making so that our society can be a better place to live for the human needs. So further that since the action of the government affect us deeply, we take a lively interest in what governments do. Okay, the first of all point is that in our democracy, in our India, that we are choosing the leader, we are choosing the government as our whole soul. So why should we not take care of that, and why should we not take care of the politics, and why should not have that knowledge regarding the politics? Because we are choosing the government, and government is making all the plans and all the policies for us that decides our future and future of the nation also. So we all have to take care of that, and we have to take interest in all the government activity as well. So this is clearly states that we form association and organize campaign to articulate our demands. Because okay, because every society and every person of the society has some demands, that they want a better society, they want a better remuneration, and they want a better opportunity for their that children's, and they want a better hygiene, better infrastructure of their nation. So they want these kind of things. Why should not they put these demands in front of the government? So this is the way that what they are doing. So we all have to take care, and we all have to participate in the government activity. Okay. Okay, the next question is that what do we study in political theories? Okay, now we understand that we have to emerge, we have to get into the politics, because it is necessary for us that to decide that what which type of government we are choosing for our nation. So now the question arises that what we study in political theories. Okay, so that but in the as the para explains that, but if we look deeper, we would also see certain values and principles that have inspired people and guided policies. Ideas like democracy, freedom, equality, for instance. Okay, so now what these terms are. Okay, just read this, just highlight this portion. Okay, these are the fundamentals of the politics. Okay, okay, these are democracy, freedom, and equality. So maybe you have heard these words before. Okay, might be you have heard that these are the fundamental of our constitution too, that democracy, freedom, and equality. Okay, and justice also, one word is not given, that the justice. Okay, our constitution of India is firmly based on the principle of justice. Okay, if we are talking about that every person is equal, that every person will get the equal opportunity for the job, then that is justice. Every person will get some kind of equal punishment if he or she is doing one kind of that unlawful activity. So that is justice. So we are firmly believing that justice is the important parameter on which any constitution should based. Okay, so the next is different countries may try to protect such values by in that ensuring them in their constitution, as in case with the American and Indian constitution. As I stated before, that our Indian constitution is based on these pillars. Okay, these are democracies, freedom, equality, and justice also. So, and American constitution, that one of the that oldest constitution in the world is American Constitution. So that is also based on that principles. So now we have to understand that we are discussing about the modern age. Okay, so there are several philosophers, there are several geniuses are there in our history. Those who have given their views, those who have given the theories related to that what is the politics. One of the person in our Indian history, that is Kautilya. Okay, we have maybe that might be, you might be heard about Kautilya, that okay, the book of the book which was written by Kautilya was Arthashastra. In Arthashastra, what was written? That all around what the politics is and how to run the entire that nation or that premises. So in that book we have read about that. So Kautilya, Aristotle, and that Rousseau, Karl Marx, Mahatma Gandhi, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So these are some geniuses who have given their contribution, that whole soul contribution in that the field of politics, as well as you know that that Mahatma Gandhi and B.R. Ambedkar, their point of view, their views are clearly depicts our constitution as well. So, as far back as the 5th century BC, the Plato and Aristotle discussed with their student that whether monarchy or democracy was better. So, we can clearly see that during that age of time, that during that age, Plato and Aristotle was just discussing about that monarchy and democracy. That monarchy is run by that monarchs, and democracy is done by their peoples. So, in modern time, that Rousseau first argued for the freedom as a fundamental right of humankind. Okay, Karl Marx. So, actually, as you can see, that fundamental rights. Maybe you have heard about this word. Okay, that fundamental right. What are the fundamental right that any each and every citizen should have, that must have that, because every government should give them fundamental rights for the humankind. Because and then further Karl Marx argued that equality. Okay, now this point. Okay, so we have to understand that if we are discussing on this first para, that democracy, freedom, and equality, these big words we can see in our constitution as well as in politics. So where we are getting these words to get immersed in politics, we are getting these words from these geniuses, that their views and their philosophies. So, as we have already discussed, that Rousseau argued these fundamental rights, and now we are discussing that Karl Marx is arguing about the equality was crucial as freedom. So, equality and freedom. Okay, so equality and freedom. These are also the biggest pillars of the of any constitution. The Okay, now that Mahatma Gandhi, closer to home, it means that we are discussing about our nation. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi discussed the meaning of genuine freedom or Swaraj in his book Hind Swaraj. Okay, highlight this portion. Okay, you have to know that Hind Swaraj was the book which was written by Mahatma Gandhi. In that book, Mahatma Gandhi wrote about Swaraj. That Swaraj means what? Swa means by own self, and Raj means we are governing that nation. So in that book he has all discussed all about that what is the freedom for any human being in a society. And later on, that Dr. Ambedkar vigorously argued that the scheduled caste must be considered as minority, and as such must receive a special protection. Okay, now we are discussing one of the topic which is undoubtedly a major concern of nowadays, that but Dr. Ambedkar vigorously argued about this, because Dr. Ambedkar was thinking, and I salute them those persons who are making this kind of protection acts. So what they are what they are believing, that scheduled caste and scheduled tribe must be considered as minority, because these people, for the as we are just reading this, as we are, okay, now just see, as we are reading about equality. So if we are reading about equality, and one of the portion, one of the society, one of the branch of society is very downside, and one of the society which is leading, so how can you just term and how can you assume about a equality in the nation? So you have to give a boost, you have to give a pull to that society which is downside. So for that reason, that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar given the special protection for their rights. Okay, so okay, now discussing about our constitution, that our preamble enshrines freedom and equality. The chapter on rights in the Indian constitution abolishes untouchability in any form. Okay, so this was the major act which was, and this was the that you can say a very bad thing at that time which was going on. So untouchability was abolished by our constitution also, and that it was based on the Gandhian principle. As you all know that Gandhiji has given the principle and the word of that Harijan, that Jan of Hari, yani ki, it means that peoples of God. So there should be no untouchability in the society. Now that it clarifies the meaning of concepts such as freedom, equality, justice, democracy, secularism, and so on. So now we are getting these words at one place, that freedom, equality, justice, democracy, and secularism, and so on. So there are so many words, and these are the pillars. So it proves the significance of principles such as the rule of law, separation of power, judicial review, etc. So this is done by examining the argument advanced by different thinkers in defense of these concepts. Through that, though Rousseau and or Marx or Gandhiji did not become politicians. Their ideas influenced generations of politicians everywhere. So as we know that these are not active politicians. These are not active politicians, or they are not that the governing bodies of the society. But these are the geniuses. These are the philosophers. These are the that active, we can say, social workers, who have given their views, their point of view for the betterment of society, and their beliefs, their views are nowadays are the fundamentals of our politics. So these are whatever it is written over here, that okay, now just highlight this portion. Okay, so these are some basic rules which were given by these philosophers. So now, okay, so now just understand that secondly, though freedom is guaranteed in our constitution, we encounter new interpretation all the time. This is a bit like playing a game. Okay, now what we understand, okay, that in our constitution that freedom is guaranteed to each and every citizen. But now what we are seeing is that our Supreme Court is just giving their decision and just interpreting freedom in various kind of variable point of view. Okay, because if we want to see that if politics is not same at any given point of time, then the freedom is as same as politics. That freedom in one case, if freedom for you, it may be a bad thing for others. So we have to collectively manage this thing, that what is freedom and what the limit of freedom should be in a society. Okay, so thirdly, as our world change, we may discover new dimensions of freedom as well as new threats of freedom. Okay, so because as I have discussed it earlier, that freedom for one person may be a problem for others. So nowadays, if you are giving freedoms to one person and he is doing some unlawful things, and he is doing something which is not good for the society, then it may create a problem for the society also. So we cannot pretend it, we cannot give that kind of freedom to anybody which is harmful for the society. So for the next topic, that putting political theories to practice, that okay, now we are just reading these kind of theories, these kind of large theories, and that bookish language and all. So how we are going to practice it, how we are going to implement these theories in our day to day life? So, in this textbook, we confine ourselves to one aspect of political theories, that which deals with the origins, meaning, and significance of political ideas that we are familiar with, such as freedom, equality, citizenship, justice, development, nationalism, secularism, and so on. So, when we begin to debate or argument on any topic, we usually ask what does it means and how does it matter. Political theorists have asked what is freedom and equality and provided the diverse definitions. Okay, because for any subject, for any other subject like science, physics, that physics, or that math, there is certain fixed definition of that and that angle is that is that 90-degree angle, or that is fixed. Okay, and some that every formula is fixed for one question. Okay, but in that political theories, these formulas, these definitions are not fixed, it may be differ from one situation to another. So on the next page, that this because terms like equality concern our relationship with other human being rather than with things. Okay, because we are, if we are discussing about equality, we are not concerning about that we are not comparing human being with one kind of that mountain and one kind of that building or that monuments. So we are not comparing these two, we are comparing, we are giving equality on the basis of humans. Okay, we are comparing human to human, not human to and other things. That okay, okay, now if we are that have opinions on issue like equality, so the equality should be given, and we have to that we have to compare, we have to give equality on the basis of humans. Okay, okay, now that why should we study political theories? Okay, now we have understand, we got the understanding that where we are from, where we are getting these kind of big words like democracy, like freedom, like equality, and these all. So okay, that okay, we are studying this chapter. Now we have to understand that is there any kind of necessity to read this and study about the political theories, why we are studying that? So the question, so the answer is that is it not that not more study that suited for the politician who practice politics, or for bureaucrats who makes that policies, or for that teaching political theories? So basically we are trying to say that it is not compulsory for that bureaucrats, or not compulsory for the that that student or the teacher who are studying that teaching that kind of isn't that kind of stuff. So it is necessary, it is necessary for the common person also. If we are, you are living in the society, and you are the part of it, and you are choosing your government, and the government is deciding some kind of rules and regulations for you, and if they are doing some kind of malpractices, so you have to know, you have to get the understanding of these policies, that if that government is good or not, or that is bad for your society. So for the better understanding of the our government, better understanding of the society and its regulations, and for its future, you have to understand that what these theories and political theories are. Okay, first of all, that political theories is relevant for all the above target. So it is all clear that these political theories are also that basic necessity for these target groups. Secondly, we are all going to be citizens entitled to vote and decide other issues. To act responsibly, it is helpful to have basic knowledge. As I told you, that we should have the basic information, we should have the basic knowledge about the politics, that so that we can get our best decision to choose the society and as well as the leaders of the society. Okay, so as as citizens, we are a bit like an audience in a music concert. Okay, so now this para states that what we are, the from the broad point of view, broad perspective, it is saying that we are just like a audience in a music concert. We are not directly playing that instruments, but we are we are demanding, we are just listening, and we are appraising those musicians. So musicians here are some bureaucrats and some politicians, and we are the citizens, that audience is citizens of the nations. So thirdly, freedom, equality and secularism are not abstract issue in our life. Okay, we daily encountered discriminations of various sort in families, school, college, shopping malls and so on. So okay, now these again word that freedom and equality, secularism are not absent. So these words are not just like that, you have not seen anywhere in day to day life. If we are, because we are not in utopia, so we are in a society where maybe that maybe you will encounter some kind of that bad malpractices over in the society. So these kind of things which you will see, which you can see around us, that discrimination is going on. So we have to understand and we have to take a stand in front of that. So this is all. Okay, so I think I have cleared all the points over here which was essential for you. So some kind of exercises is all given here. So if you, I hope you will try to solve these exercises with your help, that with that PDF and what I have explained. So I will provide this PDF to you also. So go through it and just get a better understanding and what the questions are given in these slides. So just try to solve it in your copy. Okay, until then, take care. Bye bye. See you in a next video.